So it's one of those days where like literally you could do anything and it works. Okay, so let's look at like this day trading skills and how you can develop that because skills. Okay, now first you have to be clear about what is your objective, right? And it's not. I'm not recommending day trading for everybody, especially if you're a working person or something. It's not necessary kind of a thing. As I've repeatedly shown you people, like I have a particular goal, and as a result of that. Uh, Day trading is one of the things which I want to use because make money with the lowest risk possible, 2.5% less risk possible, and all weather trading. So the only way I can make money when my other setups are not working is to do day trading. But doesn't mean like I don't do day trading. So you have to be clear. If it is part of your overall this thing plan, then what you need is you need to develop skills. Okay. And this is one of those games where if you have skills, okay, you can make lots, and if you don't have skills you can lose a lot. Okay, so skills is very important for this particular thing. And in terms of like an overall trading, there is one thing which you have to understand, and one that is basically if you look at I'm looking at relatively this thing. If you're looking for a style of trading, relatively easy things are swing, buy and hold, lemonade. Difficult things are day trading. Difficult things are position trading. Difficult things are working people things, right? So you have to determine where you want to go, and if you want to decide to go to this route, then you have to be willing to put in significant effort in developing the skills, because skills is equal to money, and because the game is so fast, the speed is what kills people, right? And in this game, or speed is what makes money. So it works both ways, right? So think about it. Don't just like blindly decide, oh, I want to be. You really need to commit to it, kind of a thing, and commit to it year long, kind of a thing, because it's not something which you can just do on and off, kind of a thing. So that's one thing which I see a lot of things. Oh, now the market is bad, I'm going to do it. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so let's try and look at like what really do day traders do? What do really day traders do? Like what do they do? It's like asking a question. Okay, look at it. So what do they do? And you have to understand okay, what they do basically that's like really the key to understanding this game, because if you don't understand that, what do working people really do? I have no clue. Okay. Means they do certain things. They go to office from 9 to 5, right? They sit in meetings. Okay. Some of them get shouted at by boss. Some of them are boss, so they shout at other people. See, at the crux of it is day traders try and profit from intraday volatility, because whenever you're looking at any stock, okay, if you're looking at say Peloton for that matter, if you look at it at the end of the day, what it shows is like it's down $1.50, right? Or like it's down $1.89, right? But if you look at the same stock on an intraday basis, okay, from here to here, this move was $6, and from here to here, this move was $2, and from here to here, this move was another $1, and now this move is like another $1 almost. So 6, or however you calculate, 6 or 7, 7, 10, 11, 12. So on what looks like a $1.90 move, actually there were $12 range, right? A $12 opportunity, the way you want to look at it. And you can look at any stock and it will be like that, right? And if you look at like, and I say for that matter, if you look at like FTCH, okay, if you look at it, it looks like 82 cents, right? But if you look at the same thing on an intraday basis, okay, here, this is a $2 move, and this is another like $1.27. So that's $4, right? The intraday volatility is what makes you money. Okay, the intraday volatility. So if that is what makes you money, then what is the key to being successful day trader? The key to being successful as a day trader is to find a situation where the intraday volatility is likely to be very high, right? Means if you are the pickpocketer in Barcelona, what you need to be very clear about is you need to be in that particular location, okay, and not only that, there is another thing which you need to be there in that location. And when do you need to be in that location? At the right time, right? In the sense you have to be there when there is a maximum amount of crowd, max crowd. Is when your opportunity is. Otherwise, like you can go to that thing at 2 p.m. in the night. Yeah, means like what are you going to find? Except for some hookers. Okay. So it's very important to understand that if you want to make money, you have to focus for day trading on a situation or a stock which is likely to have a lot of volatility, because volatility gives you opportunities. And what creates volatility? So if I'm looking at say this particular stock, okay, and I'm just looking at trading this here, okay, yeah, means like am I going to make money, big money? No, because like there is nothing happening here. There is no drama. 6 cents it made move, right? And you're not going to make money. But the moment there is a range expansion, you can make money. Or like in this kind of stocks, you can make money. Why can you make money in these stocks? Is because if you look at them on whatever time frame this 5-minute data is available, right? What do you see? Like if you look at these time frames on which the 5-minute data is available, is what is happening is there are many up and down moves. So that gives you a lot more opportunities. So it's very important if you want to be day trading successfully to select stocks which are likely to have higher volatility for that day, or you select stocks which for whatever reason have a continuous volatility, and this is not permanent, right? And Netflix may not be permanently volatile for whatever reason. It is volatile currently, right? Or like in a BA for that matter, most of the time it's not a stock which is worth day trading, right? But for a particular circumstances and reason nowadays, what is happening is that it is extremely volatile, right? And so how many opportunities are there if you just look at like, and if you just look at between yesterday and today, how many opportunities are there in BA to make money? Many, right? Because it's volatile. If it is dead money, I'm not going to be able to make money. It goes up, it goes down, then goes up, goes down, goes up, fails, goes up a little bit slowly, and then goes down, and then goes up, and goes down, and suddenly like it goes up. Okay, so that's the kind of stock which you need to look at, and what creates that volatility is basically some sort of a news or some sort of the stock has to be in play. That means that's something is happening, right? And we know why BA is so volatile, right? Or we know why Roku is so volatile, or Apple, or whatever, or Jinko Solar for that matter is a very good stock to trade currently, or Shopify, right? And it's very volatile. Stocks which are dead, there is no point in trading them, right? We want a situation where there is volatility, and equally important, there is another thing which you want to have. What is besides volatility? What is the other thing which you want? Liquidity. Exactly. You want liquidity. Okay, those are two things which are very critical, right? And if you look at most of these stocks, Shopify is trades like, basically on a given day trades around million shares. Tesla trades multiple million shares. Zoom trades multiple million shares. Netflix trades million shares. Soxel is not really so this thing, but Genco Solar currently, for whatever reason, okay, is trading a lot, and it is going to continue for a couple of days, right? And until the volatility dies down, and that's where the opportunity is basically, right? And even if you look at this particular stock, see, this tells you everything, that there is a high amount of interest in this stock, right? And as a result, there is volatility. So, and each of these stock, if you look at like, there is a high amount of interest for whatever reason. So that's the key. And then if you find a stock like that, then the next thing which you need to do is to find a setup, right? So there are 2 points to this particular thing for day trading. One is to select the right kind of stock, and that selection should emphasize range. It should emphasize intraday volatility, okay, and volume. But there is another thing which is important, right? Once you select the stock, it's not automatically going to make you money. What is the next thing which is important? Setup, right? Setup makes us money, right? Stocks don't make us money. Like, and a knowing stock just doesn't make you money, but knowing which setup to use on this particular stock makes you money, right? And there was a little bit of bounce and immediately started fading. So on this particular thing, shorted and got out. Like today morning was crazy. Like I had to attend one of the marketing meetings for my other business, which is a national marketing meeting. So a bunch of people like shouting at each other on a Zoom meeting, but like I still I didn't do a size. That's why I just did 100 shares. But Jinko Solar or Zoom for that matter, okay, here. The moment I saw, I entered, and next candle itself was $7. So just like in 2 candles, the stock goes up $8-9. Right, and then immediately, what kind of a setup is this? Exhaustion, exactly. Means if it takes you 10 minutes to figure out what kind of a setup it is, there is no chance you're going to make money trading these kind of things. Okay, you have to know these setups like as they are forming, right? And as soon as you see, you look at there is it is for as soon as I saw that, I knew to look at the stock is a short, right? And then look at it like and if you miss that, there was another setup. There were a bunch of setups here, and what kind of a setup was this? Weak structure, right? And that's weak structure, and it had weak structure here, and then reversal, right? Or a fade kind of a thing, because it like went down that much and then fade, right? So the setups which work in intraday basis, in order to understand that, okay, you have to understand one thing, and that one thing which you need to get into your head in order to be a successful day trader, and that one thing which you need to get into your head is that typically, okay, if this, let's take a hypothetical, and my candles don't look straight, but like let's assume that this is the candle, okay, and this is the, it's at the end of the day, this is how the candle looks, right? But what is likely to be happening during this candle is going to be like basically either, I can't draw a straight line because there's something on the table, but like let's assume that this is a straight line, okay, and this is how the stock ends, right? This is more likely, okay. The idealized version people want to trade is it goes like this, it goes like this, it goes like this, and it ends like this, right? And so the candle was like this, right? That is not how the market always operates, right? Sometimes it operates like that, but this is more common when you're day trading, right? Especially if you're day trading volatile stocks, right? It is likely to have a pattern which is like this, which is what we are looking at here, right? And when you're looking at this stock on an intraday basis, what does it show? To sell-offs, counter trend moves, again going sideways, sell-off, counter trend bounce, sell-off, counter trend bounce, sell-off, counter trend bounce, right? So the setups which work on a day trading time frame are the setups which you need to perfect. And what are those setups which you need to perfect in order to be good at this game? Or one, like a regular breakout. If there is a range expansion kind of a breakout, momentum burst kind of a breakout, okay, what is going to happen if there is a momentum burst kind of a breakout? Stock is going to move in the direction of momentum burst, right? So you want to become a good day trader? What do? Is take this chart of zoom, okay, for whatever time period it is available, and when we are doing momentum burst on a swing trading basis, we are defining it as like either a dollar breakout or a 4% breakout. You can't do that on a intraday basis, right? And what does the momentum burst really signals? It's like a range expansion compared to the other candles, right? And it's just a candle which is larger than the last 3 or 4 candles. So you take this chart, okay, take this chart and mark all the range expansions on this chart, okay. Those are the opportunities which you will have if in your mind, you are very clear as to what is a momentum burst, right? So let's take this as an example here on this particular candle, okay. And in order to do that, so this is how the stock looked to you when you are looking at it, okay, and this is what happened. So what is that? That's a breakdown, range expansion, right? Means this candle is bigger than the rest of the candles in terms of directionally, right? And so what happens as soon as you see something like this, what should be happening in your mind? Short it. And if it takes you more than 2 seconds to decide that, then the opportunity is gone. Because what is likely to happen, especially if you're trading very fast moving stocks, is that within few minutes, so this is what happened next, right? And if you see, next it goes down $1.50 and it goes down. So this is what is this now? That's a 3-day momentum burst, right? And that's a 3-day momentum burst, right? And so you have to start thinking like that. So what will you do now? If you're in that trade and you short it as soon as you saw that, what are you likely to do there? Take profit, right? Close your position. Now all this has to be done in real time, right? And thinking fast, right? And you are looking at this here on this day. If you go and look at this day, what is it? Assume that this is a daily chart and you saw something like this. What is that? That's a breakdown, right? Range expansion breakdown. And then the stock kept going down for like 5, 6, 7 candles. Okay, there was a bounce and immediately there was a range expansion and the stock kept going down. Now it is in a downward shift. And what is this? Reversal, right? And it's a range expansion again, right? And it's a range expansion, and within 4 candles the stock went up $5, right? Again there was a range expansion here, but if you tried to take this trade, it failed, right? So you have to be quick in terms of deciding. As soon as it started not following through, you have to be quick in terms of deciding whether you want to hold or go, right? And that is what makes this thing. You would have taken this because this is a range expansion, and what happened is it didn't work, right? And so on and so forth. And if you didn't find this as a entry, you would have definitely looked at this as a weak structure. So if you want to be successful, or if you want to be actually trying to do this and you want to make money, and means I don't have to convince you, right? And all of you are members of StockB, and there are these people here, okay, who mint money you would give your arms and legs and some other organs to make the kind of money these people make, right? And look at this guy, Larry. Okay. I think he didn't post it there. I think he posted today also, right? And something 17 or 18,000 also. He sent me an email where he made like 40-50,000 on a trade. So here 2,560 in few minutes. Okay, these people make that kind of a money. And some of you working in a company don't even make that kind of a money in a month, right? So that is possibility, but in order to get to that level, it's 11,895. That's not the amount of money which he made for the day. He must have made like by now more than 100K probably. Okay, what are they doing is exactly these kind of things, which is taking these kind of trades. But what they can do is they can do it very quickly, right? I don't use VWAP. I am not an expert on VWAP. I don't need VWAP to make money. Okay, but if you want, you can use VWAP. I don't use VWAP. I just look at patterns. The patterns which I look for in a day trade will be something like, say, let me capture this video and I can show you. Let me capture this. It's easier to mark once you capture that. I look at range expansion. Okay, I look at breakdowns. I look at continuation short opportunities, weak structure. Okay, I look for basically again a breakdown. Okay, I look for continuation, short, weak structure. I look for reversals. I look for, I would have taken a trade like this also on the short side. I would have taken a trade like this on the long side. I look for weak structure. Okay, I look for breakouts. I would have taken this breakout. Okay, I look for breakdowns. Okay, I look for breakouts. Okay, I look for continuation shorts kind of opportunities. I look for breakouts. Okay, I look for exhaustions. I look for weak structure shorts. Okay, uh, and this is a breakout kind of a situation. I look for this. I don't need like basically uh, I trade with no indicators. Okay, I am a naked trader. I trade with no indicators. Okay. I get stopped out like get stopped out like, but like it's also like how selective you are also, right? And today morning, like I was in the meeting and I was listening to these people, and I just took like then I decided to only focus on two trades, two stocks basically. I already had a position in that align, so that was anyway something which was based on this thing. But Genco Solar and Zoom were the two which I was looking at, and I saw that, and I saw like if you look at Genco Solar open a little bit positive, but I was based on how it has moved and all. The moment I saw this weakness, this is where I shorted, okay, and I got out like here, basically, okay, and I did Zoom. Obviously, I had because I was on a meeting, I didn't had I didn't do it size. I just did 100 shares, but I would have done a larger shares kind of situations. And these are the only two stocks which I did. I only do 5 minutes time frame. Okay, this is what I do. You can do anything. The point is not what I do is important. What is the point which is important is understanding. In order to be successful day trader, according to me, you need to understand the intraday moves structure. You have to know in your mind, when a stock opens or is going crazily like this, okay, you have to have that amount of experience and this thing to quickly think, this move might fade. So when you see this kind of a thing, you're quick enough to get in and short it. Okay, that only happens if you studied these moves thousands of times. Otherwise, what will you be thinking here? If you don't have experience, you're going to think this is going to keep going up, right? And you'll go long, in fact, and basically. You're basically thinking like that. That thinking has to change. Now here, as soon as I see this, something like this, I would be in that particular trade instantly because that's a breakout, right? Now, that kind of a thinking, which you need to really put it into your mind, is what is more important in terms of understanding. Look, when things are going up, okay, you should be looking for thinking exactly in opposite direction, and when things are going down also, you have to be mentally ready immediately to switch gears and say, as soon as you see this, okay, you have to be thinking, well, the move is happening like this, that this move is likely to get faded. Okay. And which is the mindset which needs to be developed, because anytime you see a move which is happening like this and you see momentum going down, what is your first reaction should be? That there is going to be a bounce. Okay, there'll be a reversal. You have to think like that. Then if you think like that, means it has to become second nature to your way of thinking. You see something waterfall decline like that, you should be immediately thinking, look, and this stock is going to bounce. Same way, if you see something which is up a lot, okay, yesterday PYPL was up a lot in a year, but if you're just thinking, it is continuing to go up because it has a news, it has bought and it is getting into whatever that bitcoins thingy and all, and then you're just thinking, you'll never be able to take a trade like this, right? You have to think, look, and this is going to break down, and when it is going down, you have to think, look, and this is going to reverse. That change of mindset is so critical to be successful, to be a day trader, because you, and why it is so critical is like, because how much time do you have to make that decision? See here, okay, if I'm trading on an intraday, like on a swing trading time frame, okay, I run a scan, and I can run a scan at the end of the day and still can make money, right? I run a scan, I look at this particular stock, okay, and I keep looking at it. How much time do I have to make a decision whether this is 2 lynch or not, or 2 lynch or 3 lynch or not? You have all day, night, right? And to make a decision during the day, you have a decision. Okay, how much time you have to make a decision when you are basically doing this on an intraday time frame? There is no time, right? Here you can scan, go through this, ask 10 people, hey, does this look like 2 lynch? You try and figure out this is like, yeah, this is 1.44, is the stock closing. Here, on an intraday basis, you have to make a decision instantly. You look at this at the end of the day, you'll say, okay, that looks like a range expansion, let me buy it. Or you can buy it like during the day at 2 o'clock, you can buy it at 3 o'clock, you can buy it at 12 o'clock, you can buy it at 4 o'clock. But here, how much time do you have to make the decision? Let's look at a more like a liquid stock kind of a thing here. For that matter, look at 9 million, like even if you are looking at 9 million, right? And EVK, right? How much time do you have to decide that this is a good setup? Seconds, right? And then when this is forming, how much time do you have to decide whether to get in or not get in as an anticipation setup? Seconds, right? Now, in order to become good at this, then what do you need? You need to be really practicing. Like, I don't know what game you played when you played in the college, or like whenever you played, when you were in school or wherever, or some of you still play games, but like when I was in college, okay, not in college, like in school, okay, soccer was the thing which you used to play, okay. Now, in order to become good at soccer, what is it that you do? You practice shooting goals, you practice heading a ball, right? You practice stopping a ball on your chest, right? And you do it hundreds of times. Like there used to be like 2 hours of practice, and the last 30 minutes is when we used to actually play a match. Okay, 1.5 hours was like basically somebody will throw ball at you and you head it. Somebody will throw ball at you, or somebody will kick a ball at you, and like you do like you stop it using your chest, right? And how many times do you do it? Lots of drills, right? So when you actually get into the situation, what happens? When you actually get into the match, what happens? Like if you see all these, like basically yeah, it's automatic, right? And it's not even like, and you're not even thinking. You get a ball there, and you know where to hit it, right? And which is not only like, and I just gave you an example of soccer because I played soccer in the school, but like what you do is you're just like this kind of cones and this kind of exercises, like thousands of them, thousands of drill, like exactly this kind of a thing, okay. Just doing this thousands of times is what. So all like 1.5 hours was like this. Okay. So what happens is you know how to respond, right? Now, if you want to start trading, day trading, and you just listen to this particular meeting and go and start day trading, what is going to happen? You are going to lose boatload of money. Okay, you're going to lose boatload of money because you just don't. You will be completely paralyzed because you get into a situation and you see things are moving against you or like anything. You'll not have the this thing to even make a decision. You see something going, you'll start dreaming. Oh, it's going to, and then next it goes and sells up, and you're like, what happened, right? Kind of a thing. But if you are done these drills of doing hundreds of these deep dives in terms of like and going every day, look up these charts which make like, and I would say like, and look up anything which has between low and high. Okay, anything which traded 1 million shares for the day and which had absolute H minus L greater than $5, you study them. And how many do you study? Hundreds. You study hundreds of them, and you just study them day after day. And then what happens is that you can recognize these patterns in real time. It's the drilling which is important. It's the drilling which is important. If you can do these drills, okay, look, how would I trade this? How would I identify this? Look up these like stocks which are like you can create a scan for that to look up at the end of the day. Look, and basically your stocks. That's 100,000. That's 1 million, right? And absolute H minus L is greater than or equal to $5 or greater than $5 also is will be enough, right? And then you look at these stocks, okay, and look at them and look at them. I think something is wrong because it should give you more than that number of stocks according to me, right? Something is wrong in this formula probably. Maybe 10 might be 100,000. So this is 6. So it made it 10 million, right? And so 1 million. Yeah, that's 1 million. And once you run that, so you're getting 33 stocks today, okay, which has traded 1 million, and high low is this thing. So each of them, study each of them, okay, and look at it. Look at it. Okay, where was the setup? How would I trade this particular stock? Okay, what will I be doing now at this moment? Right. Go back and look at the tape. Like if you see all the professional sports, they use one simple technique. Every single professional sports which you look at today, there is like if you look at professional sports and you talk to people, or like if you study the history of professional sports or any sports, okay, what was the single biggest invention which changed most sports? Use of TV, right? Recording. So what do they do? What do they do? Go back and see the film hundreds of times, saying, okay, this is how he hit it. Okay, where did the ball land? What happened? Or this is how this guy pitches. So how many pitches go to the right side? How many go to the left side? Everything is, analyzed and analyzed in slow motion, fast motion. Exactly, that is the thing which you need to do. If you do that, okay, then you will build the skill. And if you build the skill, then I'm going to come and take all your money. Okay. So what kind of a setup was this? Where would you short it? Okay. Takes you more than 5 minutes to decide. You're not ready to day trade. What kind of setup was here? Man, you want to day trade, make thousands of dollars, and you don't even know, okay, this is weak structure or this is a breakout, right? And how will you make money? You have to instantly think, right? Weak structure, weak structure, weak structure. And should not be asking 10 times what is weak structure. It should be part of you. Otherwise, like on timeline asking, what is weak structure? Weak structure is your weak memory, right? So look at these. These are the kind of stocks in which you want to be, and then look at it. Weak structure here, right? And a weak structure short, right? And a breakout. Again breakdown. And if you can do these drills of going through these hundreds, 200, 300 times, 500 times, 1000 times, okay, till it becomes part of you. And then what happens? So he's doing fake, but like if you go to a Punjabi wedding, you're going to look at like an actual real money flying, right? And those of you who but before you get to that level and before you order the gun, you need to basically do the drills, do the drills, do the drills, do the drills. Take one stock out of this, okay, which has the highest range. You can put like basically here a column, value column, right? And which is and write a formula saying look at absolute H minus L. Okay. And then look at the one like Amazon or Zoom. Look at Zoom and study it, mark everything saying look at this is what it happened and this is how this can be played, and rehearse and rehearse and go back and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse. Then what will happen is that you will be having problems, right? You'll have problems. Some of them might be good problems, some of them might be bad problems, right? And you'll have problems. And you don't have to believe my words. You talk to these people, like, and you can see these people. They are like, and basically what they're doing is basically shooting money out of guns, right? Let's look at like the possibility of the possibility you have seen in real life, right? Now, in order to, this is possible, okay? This is where the possible thing is, and you are here. And this is within reach, right? All that you need to do, what do you need to do in order to make the possible, it possible? What do you need to do in order to make it possible for you, right? Is it possible, like people send me emails and all, like not members, non-members and all, saying, is it really possible to make money trading, day trading and all? Yeah, means like you have gone beyond that stage, at least I believe, like some of you, not all of you, but some of you, means how many of you believe that look, and it is possible to make money trading or day trading? So if it is possible, then in order for it to make possible for you, the bridge which you need to build is really the drills and skills, and building your own book of pattern book. Create your own pattern book. What is it I am looking at? What is it I am going to look at? Because there is no time to think once you are there, right? It's the same thing, like what is the basic principle which is used in the what's the basic principle they use? Next, he's going to tell Tim that look, and basically he's shooting money out of the gun, right? So the basic principle, and which is the same principle which is used by either US Marines or the fire brigades and all, is overtrain, right? And if you see, like, I'm not sure, like, some of you are like too rich to do that, but some of you, if you are volunteer firefighters, what do they do day in and day out? What does the fire brigade do day in and day out? They practice, right? Why do they practice? Because when you go into an actual fire, is there a time to think and to make mistakes and to do this thing? No, right? You have to train. So overtrain. So use the same principle. Overtrain yourself, okay? Look up these charts. Look up how you're going to do it. first you are going to just do it on a simulated basis, saying, look, this is where I should have taken the trade, this is where, and then do it with either paper money, whatever way you want to do it, like, and then once you are good at it, okay, like this is a very beautiful weak structure kind of a situation, right? And everything which you want to look for in a weak structure is there in this particular stock, right? So and that's what you want to find, right? And once you have that in place, in terms of in your mind, okay, what is the setup, I need to look at it, then the next set of questions come in. Okay, look, and how am I going to manage this trade then? Okay, and again you simulate in your mind, you simulate in your mind, you simulate, okay, look, how am I going to do this? Okay, where am I going to put the stop? What happens if it follows through? What happens if it doesn't follow through? How quickly I need to get out, right? And you need to overtrain, and you need to overtrain. Print out these charts, okay, mix them up, and just look at that chart and say, okay, what kind of a setup is this? Or ask your husband, wife, or daughter, or anybody to, like, just show you it like a flashcard and say, look, and tell me what kind of a setup is this, and see if you can get it right. Because pos is what, like, what is the possibility? What is possible? Now what is the, and this is where you are, and the pathway is going to be involving drills, patterns, practice, and if you can do that, then you'll never ever be thinking cheap. You'll never ever go and shop in Walmart, okay? Never ever even visit a dollar store. You don't even know, okay, look, at what dollar store is. You'll be like a Paris Hilton, right? And if you see her Paris Hilton show, Walmart, she thought, like, what did she think about Walmart? It's a store which sells walls, because she had never been inside a store like Walmart, right? So you'll be like that. Rich, dumb person, right? This is possible. The question is, do you have the desire, and do you have the ability, or, like, do you have the thing to build a bridge there? And it's not as if, like, you're on your own. There are people who can help you. There are people who are doing this. You can see what they're doing. You can see what is possible, right? And so it's not as if, like, it's like rocket science, right? And you have been told to build a rocket which will take you to moon. No, this is not rocket science. So hopefully some of you might look at this and might think about putting a new toilet. So questions, what questions do you have on day trading? And the other thing is, like, one of the things which is important is, you do not have to do this (9:30 to 4). It's not required. You can do this for 1 hour, and you can still, like, get one of those Japanese toilet to flush money. See, there are many ways to make money, right? And a TI-30 is one of the ways to make money, right? And a TI-30 is basically a setup, right? And a TI-30 is what happens in the first few minutes. Those are tools, right? But before you start using TI-30 and all, I would say that look at that's a very there is there is elementary school. Then what happens after elementary school? You go to high school, and from high school you go to graduation, and then there is post graduation, right? TI-30 is like post graduation level kind of a thing. See, if I am looking for entering a trade, I'm always looking whether it is swing trade or day trade. I'm only looking for something which will instantly have a follow through. Okay, if it doesn't have a follow through, I'm out most of the time. Okay, if it doesn't go through, I'm not going to be sitting there. Okay, so if you look at this particular thing now, okay, and let's look at say Peloton. Okay. Obviously, I don't do day trading after I am in that category where I only do whenever I do it. Okay, I do it between 9:30 to at best 10:30. Okay, is my time window. Beyond that, I don't really sit and do it. Okay, so that's my way of doing it. Okay, but let's look at say real time to see if say now if there is a setup which is developing. Okay, so here is a setup, right? And if I am going to be shorting this, okay, where am I going to put my stop? High of the bar, right? And here I'll put my stop here, but now once I entered this trade, and if it starts if I entered this 2 minutes ago and the stock has already gone down, I would be looking at even taking my stop down, because either this trade is going to work or it's not going to work, right? And basically, so in this particular case, I would take my stop down even here now, because either this trade is going to have follow through or it is going to become a trade like this. And as I see, I'm not trading this stock because I don't do this, but at this time, what I see on this particular stock is now once I entered, let's say, it's stalled out, right? And the momentum is not there, right? So if the momentum, because if it was had a momentum, what would have kept happening is the stock would have kept on going down more and more, right? So it's near low, but it is a momentum is stalling. So I would try and move my stop even further and further to make sure that if I at all lose, I lose very little, right? And that's what I do. Yes, my stop is already active. I attach stop automatically to orders basically. Whenever I put in an order, there's a stop which is attached. I adjust that stop, but and I adjust that stop basically. Okay, so here now this stock is this is what happens. That's why I don't trade in the afternoon. Is there is no real momentum on that stock, right? And you just see that it is and I'm looking at the bid and ask also. Now it has started little bit 289.79 is where it is at on this thing, but there is no trade which has happened on this stock for last since I've been talking, right? So there is nothing which is happening. So what I'm going to do is, if I was in this trade, I'm going to close that trade because there is just no momentum happening, right? So that is how I think whenever I'm looking at, and I don't do during that's why I keep these meetings at 11 o'clock and all, because most of the time by 10:30, 11 I'm done. Means I don't want to be doing this full day. Okay, I am a very selective kind of a thing where I'm looking to do it very selectively. Okay, I'm not sitting there throughout the day and doing it. There is I think I have seen a study. I'm not sure whether I can find it now, but there's a study somewhere somebody has done, which shows that look, and 60% of the stocks or something like that. Not don't hold gun to me about 60%. It's definitely above 50%. This thing stocks make their new high or new low in first 1 hour, and then the statistic goes like this, saying okay, 60% is in first 1 hour, then 70% in the first 2 hours, and then 80% by 3 p.m., and then so on and so forth. So if you know that which is the best time to make money, you can be a you can do this for a full day, which is what many people do, but you can be very selective. You can just pick up one or two stocks and that's it basically, right? Now this did follow through, right? But it didn't follow through as much as you would have liked, right? And if you are looking at something which is basically going down a lot, I don't see anything going up or going down a lot, because why I don't see anything going up and going down a lot is because I'm looking at these windows. Okay, here you see that, look, and these windows are not really moving up and down, right? The speed at which they are moving is like glacial. That's but in the morning what happens is these things will be moving like lightning fast. That's where the money is then. So those are some of the things which will, but in order to get to that level, I would say, even before you get to that level, first what you need to really do is, in your mind, the pattern should be so clear that basically it should not take you less than 5 seconds to. What else is there? What are the questions? So I joined late. So that's the list which he posted. Can you walk us through the play-by-play? Yeah, I did that. If you enter on a good range expansion candle and the next few bars stall, do you exit? Yes, I exit. Okay. And I'm always thinking, I would not have taken this trade at this level. I was just picking up an example. Where would I have taken this trade? As soon as I saw this candle, I would be in this trade. Okay. I would have been entering somewhere here. Okay. So, because that's what kind of a signal is this? Exhaustion, right? And a mini exhaustion, right? And that's, as soon as, see, that's where the skill becomes important and this practice becomes important, because you have to be instantly able to react to these things as soon as you see them. Okay. Stop on entry is, you can in a program a stop, you can attach a stop to any of your orders in IB. It sets up automatically. Either you can set up a percentage stop of 2%, or you can put a stop of 1%, or you can put a stop of $1 or $2. So you can program your order automatically. Okay. So that way, and I trade higher price, so I'm not really looking at any cents kind of a thing. Yeah, it's by eyeballing, and it's not exact. And I'm not going to look at if I was entering something like this, and by the time I entered, and if the stock was down, I'm not going to put my stop here. No way. Okay, I would just put my stop very close, because this is exhaustion signal, right? And if the exhaustion was true exhaustion, what is it going to be? And that's the kind of setups which I like. I'm not going to put my stop more than here, just in a $1 above my entry or something like this on a $300 stop. I enter as soon as I see an exhaustion. I'm not going to wait, because if you wait, it will become like this, right? And it can become like this. If you wait for exhaustion, you're going to be too late, kind of a thing. Yeah, some of those studies, I have also seen those. Now see here, I closed that trade, mentally I closed that trade, but that trade would have worked because it followed through, right? But it's not very fast. If you are in the morning, you get fast money. If you are doing the trading at this time, you'll have to be really patient, which I don't have patience. When I enter, I want instant money. whiskey or no whiskey kind of a situation, right? See, all these are mental issues. You have to do visualization. You have to work on those things specifically. And it's and it's the same thing, right? And if I don't do these meetings, okay, what am I going to do? Is I will be tempted. I'm on a OMAD kind of a thing now. Okay, so and I don't eat till at least 3 p.m. Okay. So if I'm not doing anything, what am I going to do? I'm going to take a round around the fridge and see. Okay, what will happen then is, look, I'm going to get tempted, right, to eat something, right? But if you train your mind, if you train your mind, okay, and which is what I do nowadays, every day morning or during the day, if you train your mind, look, then what happens? Is you're not tempted, right? So it's a mind control issue, right? And you have to control, you associate something with it. Every time you feel like going and opening the fridge, you instead drink a glass of cold water. Yeah, right. So that's what you have to do basically. So I would say that, look, and if you want to get to this level where you want to mint money like these people do, you may not have to, you may not get at that level. It might take you years to get to that level, but at least baby steps you can start. You don't have to make 40,000, 50,000 like Larry makes, or makes 15, 20,000 in a day like Manis makes. Even if you make $1,000 a day, that's more than enough. No, I don't feel weak or dizzy doing OMAD. There is a lot of science to doing OMAD, in a sense. You have to not only do OMAD, but you have to eat the right kind of things for OMAD to work. If you have a very high carbohydrate kind of a diet, then you will get those weak or dizzy kind of a thing. So you just don't, you have to have basically, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. 11:35, right? And where is 11:35? This one, right? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 So whenever, one of the, before we get into it, one of the point which I would like to make is, whenever you're looking for an exhaustion kind of a setup, okay, always remember that exhaustion, uh, ideal exhaustion is 3 candle setup, okay. So this is too low exhaustion kind of a setup, but even if you entered this as an exhaustion setup, if I had entered this as an exhaustion setup, okay, my stop would not be here, okay. My stop would be somewhere just slightly above this level where I entered, just maybe, I don't know, this is $518 stock, so you have to have $2-3 stop anyway, but my stop would be somewhere here, not at here, because exhaustion has to immediately follow through, right? And that's why we are entering it, right? It's like an anticipation setup, right? It's a low risk setup. So if say this is a, now this is also, it's very difficult to find at this stage good setups, but if you consider this as a say a reversal kind of a setup, and if I had entered it, I'm not going to put my stop here because it defeats the purpose of entering a setup like this. I would have put my stop slightly here kind of a thing, and I would have got a stopped out. See, try and find, whenever you're doing day trading, setups where your risk is very low. Otherwise, you'll lose a lot of money, right? And I want to find setups where my risk is very low. And that's why I like setups like the weak structure, because when this candle is forming, it is a weak structure, right? And as soon as this candle starts forming, you get in. And I keep moving my stops very fast when I'm in day trading, because The way I look at it, that's not my primary business also, right? And I do it as a supplement to what I do. But like the way I look at it is like some trades, the moment they are up $400 or $800 or $1,000, that's sufficient money for like 5 minutes of effort, or even less than 5 minutes of effort. So I'm not going to allow that $1,000 to become a loss, right? So I move my stops very quickly, which means like many times I choke the trade in terms of profit potential, but there is always a balance between choking a trade and then making it go against you and giving up the profit. Peloton. What 10:15? So where is 10:15? 10:15 here. 10. Yeah, that's a good trade. And if you shorted this is very nice trade. That is the kind of thing which I like, because here and instantly this stock became profitable. So even if your stop was here, next within 1 or 2 minutes you could move your stop to just above $1 above break even, or you can even move and during this candle you could move your stop to break even, or even to lock in some little bit of profit to move or start trailing, and then it went down, right? If you're looking for OMAD, basically Jason Fung, that's the guy who's Jason Fung. Okay, he's a Canadian doctor. For those of you who don't know what OMAD is 1 meal a day. So you fast till whatever time you decide, say 4 o'clock. So you don't eat till 4 o'clock, and everything which you want to eat, you eat between a 4-hour time window. So 4 to 8 is when you eat, basically. That's OMAD. Okay. That's basically I am not really since I started doing OMAD, I'm not really eating too much of meat. So typical meal will be say quinoa and some sort of a Indian curry, say chickpea curry, or some sort of say yesterday I had basically quinoa and dal. Okay, which is like a lentil curry. Okay, so I try and avoid as far as possible. Rare days I don't eat rice. Okay, I don't eat the Indian breads. I don't eat. Okay. So it will be some sort of a protein, a vegetable protein. It can be eggs. Okay, it can be some sort of lentils, and that's what I eat basically. Okay. There is no restriction on not eating meat, so it's not it's just that because of COVID and all, I don't feel like going and buying meat from the places where I buy meat from, because it's doesn't really feel very appetizing going there. No tea, coffee during the day. Yeah, I do drink tea in the morning, but during the day it's only water, basically. Water or green tea. Okay. So officially the session on day trading is over. I will continue for those who are asking.